Hello everyone, and welcome to my video tutorial on variables. I will be using Visual Studio 2019 for Mac. To get the download for PC or Mac, you go to visualstudio.microsoft.com/downloads. They have them both for PC and for Mac. Depending on whatever platform you're using is the one you'll get. The Community Edition is free, to where the Professional and Enterprise Edition have free trials, and those you have to pay for. I am using this one right here. Okay, so to start off, we are going to create a new application. We will be creating a console application for C#. It's C#, but it's pronounced C#. So we will hit next. We'll use this as default. There's usually a couple that come with it. We're going to leave it at default. Project name, let's just call this variables. Hit create. Yes. Overwrite file. That won't usually come up. I was messing around with it earlier, so that is why it's there. This is the default code that comes with the application when you create it. So if you were to run it as is, as you see, it shows hello world. This is the default beginner program that everybody tries to start people with, because it's extremely simple. Majority of all this is default when you initially create your application. So let's close this out. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to remove this guy right here. Okay, and what we're going to be going in is variables. There are a variable, by definition, is more or less just a container for storing data values. In C# and in most other programming languages, there is five different variable types. You have integers, for storing whole numbers, 1, 2, 3, -1, 2, 3, etc. Then there is doubles, which are for storing floating point numbers, and those are decimal based. In other programming languages, it may be based off decimal and not double. Character, so just the character itself. So A or B or W, for example. String is a combination of characters. So a string is the whole word. Hello, goodbye, see you, etc. And then there is bool, B-O-O-L. Bool, aka boolean, is true or false. It only holds two values. It's either true or it's false. What we're going to start with is we're going to start with a string. So if we do a string, then we're going to let's do string what? String, we'll do first name equals, and we'll use mine, Nathan. So we call the string, stating that we want this variable to be a string. So this is the string. I, force of habit, always put str to represent that it is a string, and then the name. Do you have to do this right here? Absolutely not. You can just leave it as this, if you wished. But I, force of habit, always do str in front of it. If it was an integer, I would put int in front of it. The green line with Visual Studio, if it's got a green line under it, you put your cursor over it, and it will tell you what the problem is. The variable string first name is assigned, but its value is never used, and that's where we will use it here. If I could type, that would be amazing. And as you see, it's right there. Hit enter to add it. Close the bracket. There you go. If we run this at its current state, you see that it came up showing Nathan. Okay. So that is one variable, string. You can also combine strings in series such as this. So we'll add another string. We'll do last name equals my last name. Oop. You always want to make sure the quotes is around it. If not, you will get an error. So what we do here is go back into the console and say, we're going to do hello, my name is, close that, plus, we're going to do first name, plus, string last name. Okay, and what this is going to do is this combined the two strings the two variables that I created. So if we run this as is, it's going to be hello, my name is Nathan Byerly. Close that out. Okay, that is a string variable. Next, we will go into integers. So with integers, it starts off with int. You don't spell out the whole integer, it's just int. So we will go with int my number. Or we'll just do this. Now, with integers, you do not use the quotes. You do not use quotes with numbers. If you did use quotes, you would get an error, and it would state that you are trying to create a string and not an integer. And then we would again do console.writeLine, and then you would type in the name of the variable there and close it off. Run it. Right there, 42. Okay, so that is an integer. If you look in the upper left of the screen is where I will be putting more details. So that is an integer. Next, let's go ahead and go into let's see, what do we want to use? Do we want to try, let's try character. Let's go and do character. So this would be I'm making these variables a little long. Typically you would not create them long. You would want to try to keep them short, especially if you're going to be creating a big project or a big application. You're not going to want to have to retype a lot of that out all the time. So we'll do my first letter equals N, close, and then again with the console write line is is what prints it to the screen. Without that, you won't see anything. It is nice that with Visual Studio they do give you a pop-up showing what you could add in there. And there it is, N. This is the character, so it prints 1. And you use the single, not the base quotes. So that is character. I'm leaving these, try to leave these up a little bit, so if you guys would like to follow along, then you can see what I got or pause the video. Okay, next we will do, okay, we did integer. We haven't done double yet. Let's do double. So double. Not CB. Cannot type today. Double. Let's call it my double. Try to keep these somewhat simple. Let's do 7.91. And again, it's containing a number, so it does not require any quotes. And then again, console. If you notice, I rewrite the console.writeLine, everything out. That is good, well, to an extent. I'll select if, you know, but it's good practice to get into. And double. Oh, see? Right there, error. So, let's fix this. You see the error? I was a little dyslexic and put it BDL instead of DBL. So it didn't recognize it. And then if you run it, there it is, 791. Close those out. But all in all, that is your base, all your base variables. And then there is one more. There is bool, which bool is, like I stated, it's either true or it's false. There is no in between. It's one or the other. So let's do bool. Um, let's and again, this actually will not, because with boolean it's either true or false, so you will not have any quotes or anything in that either. And again, console, not right line. And then if you run it, shows true. And then it here it is not caps, but here it is. But when you get messing with these or playing around with them simplistic, such as this, um, muscle memory is key. Write it out. Write it out, write it out, write it out, write it out. I can't emphasize that enough. Keep writing it out, keep writing it out. The more practice you get, the more it comes as second nature. Um, but so this will conclude the tutorial. Thank you.